All right, so first, I want to apologize for kind of cutting off the live streams abruptly. Periscope keeps crashing on me for some reason. So I kind of took a break after the last one because things were kind of calm until they weren't just now. When there was a bit of what I've been filming so far for the most part has been over there in front of the station. But a smaller group of people kind of began to congregate around the edge of this police line and began to yell at the officers here. Um, and that must have gotten, that must have heated up really abruptly because there was suddenly some pepper spray deployed against the dozen or so people who had been kind of congregated here. Everybody just kind of ran back. Some people just kind of cleared the area down the street. And now things have kind of calmed for the moment. But that was the first use of any sort of crowd control substance tonight, at least that I'm aware of. So I decided to go live again, kind of film what happens. Last night also saw an escalation pretty late into the night. Again, this is where the pepper spray was just deployed. You can kind of some people were affected by it. Not sure if anybody was arrested in that. Got some reinforcements coming in.
Good strategy, bro. Spread them down.
They're kind of doubling the numbers here.
Does that make you feel like you have control of the situation?
And that was the first direct confrontation of the night. Apart from there might have actually been some shoving when they first arrived here. Again, that's when they were just heading in. But that was the most dramatic escalation I've witnessed so far tonight. And it was over pretty quickly, but the police here are obviously taking it very seriously, and they're already doubling the numbers pretty quickly. Can I help you?
Police officers need to protect us from these white guys. Because they're the ones who are kicking our fucking asses out here. Hammer! They're kicking our asses. And then, I have the audacity to kill myself. Here's one right here. Here's one right here. Where the fuck is your ball?
Now, the dynamic of the way this is laid out has really abruptly changed after that pepper spray is deployed. There's next to nobody now against that police line in front of the station. They've kind of split out between that end of the road and this group here, who are just kind of interspersed, yelling at police officers. I got something happening here. Whoa! That was a firework that went off right at the police line. Now that's almost definitely going to trigger some kind of response from the police here, so I'm going to start to back off. can actually hear that the police line that I was just filming north on Georgia Avenue was beginning to surge south and push the crowd to the south. There are a few bottles being thrown. Now the crowd has been pushed about a block southward. This is the corner of Georgia and Peabody. All that smoke you see is from the firework that just went off. I don't believe they've used any crowd control munitions yet. Although we're certainly heading towards that. That was a really rapid and dramatic escalation there when a firework went off almost directly on top of, directly on top of the line of police in front of the entrance, the MPD 4th District Station. Now, earlier, somebody had actually been launching fireworks into the air from this intersection here. But that was into the air, you know, while a helicopter was buzzing around, so they weren't aiming at any person in particular. But that was very clearly aimed at the police in front of the station. That detonated, at the ground. You can actually see the police moving down from the steps right now. This line is actually in front of the, they moved forward from the entrance. Now they're surging forward again. They got some pepper spray as well. Two rounds of pepper spray. Make sure you don't get trampled here. You can also see people using laser pointers. You've seen at least one laser pointer. That's somebody in the protest crowd using a laser pointer towards the police. We've got some traffic cones being thrown as well. A lot of people have goggles, so the pepper spray doesn't have much of an effect. Now, looking behind me, the only way out of here is basically south on the street. They're really moving forward now. They're using quite a bit of force here to try to disperse this crowd.
Long live though. Fuck y'all. We on the front line. Excuse, sir.
Now, whenever they do that, they kind of charge forward, pushing with their batons. They go from block to block pretty much. So now they're probably going to try to push this crowd to that intersection. That's a block south of here. Now, there has been ample use of pepper spray within the last few minutes. Again, I have not witnessed any flashbangs or tear gas yet. There's another firework that went off in the distance over there, past the McDonald's. This is kind of following a similar pattern to what happened last night, as far as I understand, because I was not present at last night's events. But things also really escalated fast late at night after people had been here just kind of wandering around for a while. Now they've kind of formed a bit of a rectangle with their numbers here. They're going. This police line extends along the sidewalk up a block past Peabody Street. Again, this is straight across Georgia Avenue. A lot of the protesters here are kind of equipped for the situation. They have goggles on. They have some people have respirators on, masks on. That's not just because of the pandemic. Umbrellas as well, although I've seen many more umbrellas in the past. Other protests are kind of moving forward again. And we'll do the same.
You suing! Bitch ass nigga with the fucking bubble bullet gun! Fucking cool ass nigga! Get the fuck out!
This is not good. There's actually 2 lines of police. See if I can pass here. Excuse me, I'm a member of the media. Can I leave the area? Okay, thank you. I'm actually trying to get out of here because I don't want to get kettled. It's kind of like 2 walls closing in on each other. I'm a member of the media. Can I leave the area?
That's semantics. I'm not here for this.
How we can't move back?
So this is kind of unfortunate because I'm kind of boxed in here. along with some other journalists and then a few protesters as well. I've asked several officers if I can leave the area, and so far they've said no.
Hey, they real loud, not trying to let us through. They said get back, man. Where the fuck we going back up? Where the fuck
So they're kind of they've kind of encapsulated the, and I guess now they're letting people through, or people just kind of busted through. I'm not quite sure, but people are really taking advantage of this gap that's open here. All right, the police have moved to the side. So that actually, for a few moments, very much seemed like it was going to be a kettling situation. And people managed to, the police did split apart in the end and let the crowd through. That was about 50 people or so. Who were kind of boxed in a very tight space in the middle of Georgia here. The police were saying, yes, you can get out via an alley. There was no alley. But yeah, that was for a few moments that was a kettle, but nobody was arrested in the end. People were let go, and you can still see the police moving in force down the street. It seems like most people just kind of exited the area. This area is not closed to traffic, so these are all commuter vehicles. You hear some kind of booms coming from down that street. This is Georgia here, and this, I believe, is Military Road. Now, again, none of this is closed to traffic. That part of Georgia was closed. This is not. So you'll see buses and cars just kind of trapped in the middle here, which, with the police coming in. I'm trying kind of hard here to kind of watch my behind. Now, I think that might have actually been tear gas over there because I see a large cloud of gas. Whoa. Another firework. Excuse me, guys. And at this time, I'm going to start backing off myself because obviously people are kind of firing, pyrotechnics into the ground here. It's not a safe situation to be in. Again, what you see here is not tear gas. It's literally just a firework that went off in the middle of this intersection, and there are cars here as well. So the police pushed everybody back south from the station, which resulted in this whole situation kind of running into just traffic here, commuter traffic. That actually was fired by the police line. We got a DC fire engine behind me. They're moving into the area. It kind of seems like the crowd. That was a firework. We got a fire engine coming from the west here. I got a journalist here trying to direct traffic away from the area. Again, these guys are getting stuck here. The police are not managing any of this traffic, even though they pushed the crowd into this area. What I was going to say earlier is the crowd has kind of been fragmented as far as I can tell. A small group of people kind of fled south on Georgia. There's another group of people to my left here, and I did see another group yet. It's a third group past this bunch of apartment units here, and there was some bangs happening from that direction too. So we've got a lot of things happening, and I guess they're going to push forward into Georgia, south on Georgia, and they're launching more projectiles of some kind. Again, those bangs are coming from the police line. They're launching some kind of projectile south onto Georgia. And so if you're following along in the map tonight, I'm currently standing in the corner of Colorado and Missouri, and down in front of me is Georgia Avenue. which is where the bulk of the activity has taken place tonight, and where I just saw a kind of fragmented group of protesters flee south on. They're effectively being dispersed by this police action here, which has really unfolded in the last half hour or so. It's happened extremely quickly. Hey, thank you. That did get quite intense. If you're just joining me, I see I have 400 viewers now. There was what very almost turned into a kettling situation here in Georgia, just before Peabody Street, near the MPD 4th District Station. The two lines of police, kind of boxed people in a very tight area in the middle of the street, and they didn't let anybody out. Protesters, press, including myself. Even though and this is kind of typical of the way these kettling situations work, is if you tell them that you're press, they don't mind. They don't care. They just kind of funnel you in everybody else anyway, and then they kind of deal with it later. But there were no arrests in that situation that just ended, and after that they pushed everybody south in Georgia. So this is live from Zimbabwe. No, this is Washington, D.C. I'm kind of just trying to get my bearings here. If they just release something else into the road. I'm not actually sure there's anybody past that corner. I think everybody who was here just kind of ran for it, dispersed. Could be wrong because my view is kind of limited here, but obviously these police officers are staring at something down on Georgia. Across the street here. Now, to my left, I can see some people who had presumably been in front of the police station being treated for exposure. There was plenty of pepper spray, and several blasts, wide swaths of pepper spray that hit several people. And again, I will state that, if you've been watching this, my videos or my streams from tonight, a lot of the people who turn out to these things are prepared for riot control. Substances or munitions. They wear goggles, they wear masks, not just for the pandemic. They wear helmets. So a direct blast of pepper spray might not have an immediate effect of dispersing the crowd. But things really did escalate, very quickly. Again, this was over in about 10 or 15 minutes. Now they're telling people to turn around here. This road is not closed to traffic, somewhat surprisingly. Those people are still getting through here, and they're being told to turn back by, imagine being a driver in D.C. tonight and just kind of running into a riot police line like this out of the blue. For quite a shock. You can still smell the residual, the smoke from the fireworks that were going off in the street, and they were going off like right at ground level. There were about 2 or 3 of them. Let's see if we can kind of creep around the corner here. Something was thrown. Now, I don't really think there's, there's still some things being thrown, actually. I can't tell well. They're kind of small objects. There isn't much organization to this anymore. If there was organization at some point, it has now completely collapsed on the part of the protest. People are just kind of, peeking out from side alleys here. I can see some first aiders treating people for what I presume is pepper spray exposure down in that alley. That was a window. Actually, that was a sign being smacked with a bat or something. there's actually quite a bit of like separation between the police line and however many protesters are left here. And it's not a lot of people who are left. I'd say, looking down there, it's maybe 50's probably pushing it. A lot of people, back at the station down that street, there were probably about 200 people. Earlier this evening when they first got here, that kind of slowly dwindled, and now it's really rapidly dwindled down to not a lot of people. Yeah, well, I'm actually a little short on breath because I was doing a lot of running earlier. So I'm not sure if they're moving forward again, so I'm trying to get out of the way here. Get an ambulance. Yeah, so to recap, this began as a protest at the Metropolitan Police Department. That's the name of the DC Police, 4th District Station on Georgia Avenue. Now, we're not really close to the White House here, or any, important federal buildings, at least. This is not the same area where you might have been watching the George Floyd protests unfold. This is a different part of the city called Brightwood Park. It's almost, you see Walmart over there, but it's mainly residential, and smaller businesses, except for that Walmart. And this is a protest over a 20-year-old man named Karan Hilton, who was struck by a vehicle, allegedly while being pursued by a DC police cruiser last Friday. Now, I would highly suggest you read up on that. Again, the name is Karan Hilton. If you Google it, there's plenty of coverage out there already. But this began as a vigil at the intersection where he was struck by a car, and later passed away at the hospital. And then that vigil marched over to the 4th District Police Station, where they came. Oh. I have no idea what that was. Well, my ears are ringing, thanks. I'm not sure there was tear gas or that, but this is escalating a little, so I'm going to back off, because I'm not quite sure which direction they're going to fire in if they decide to use more crowd control munitions. There's people just kind of all around me here. This is very disorganized at the moment. Again, the protest has effectively been disrupted. People just kind of scattered across this area, these few blocks around the police station. Some more things being thrown. I think the police are starting to back away. I guess we're going to find out if it's tear gas, huh? It's drifting right towards me. Don't have a mask on. A gas mask. So now they closed off the street to traffic. It's kind of just get a view of what's happening back here. Excuse me. Now they're kind of they're paying more attention to this intersection now, so I wonder what they're going to do. Cars just kind of getting the hell out of here. Again, a lot of the cars here have just kind of been trapped in this area. This happened. The people were pushed into this intersection very rapidly.
Are they going to come down back around the alley?
Is there a curfew? No, there is no curfew in DC. I believe there is in Philadelphia. Don't quote me on that, but there is not in DC. And actually, I still see some smoke coming from up there, so I wonder if there's some activity up further north on Georgia Avenue. Again, I'll repeat the intersection where I'm at. This is Colorado and Missouri Avenues. And we're just a few blocks south of the 4th District MPD station.
That's what you scared of!
We get some more taunts from protesters out near me. There's not a lot of people here at the moment. Again, the crowd has kind of been split into several segments, and I think the main segment, I guess if you even want to call it that, it wasn't a very group of people, big group of people rather, have been pushed south on Georgia, and I'm not sure what became of that. I do have a feeling that a fair number of the people around me right now are just people who live in the area who have come to watch what's happening. Because literally behind me, there's a bunch of houses and apartments, so people live here. People asking where in DC this is. This is northwest DC, but it's quite removed from downtown. This is Upper Georgia Avenue. This neighborhood is actually called Brightwood Park. Another group of police kind of in the south here. It's a very large group of police. They're marching. This is Missouri Avenue. Not really boxing anybody in. They're just marching as a group in the middle of the street. Like hearing people yelling from like further down the street. There's a lot happening around here right now. So this is oh, something was thrown to these guys. Came from over there. I think a bottle of water or something was thrown from over that ledge at this group of officers, and they just kind of stopped in their tracks and gotten into more of a defensive position. Yeah, behind me, there's people just coming out of their houses just watching this. And this is a row of apartment buildings. These guys are backing off now, and they're actually cops are talking to each other, and they're saying, let's watch our backs, let's watch our backs. You kind of see them looking backwards as they march in a few lines. And the police helicopter that's kind of been buzzing the area for about an hour now with a searchlight. And they're off to wherever. I'm actually kind of curious what's happening further south on this street. Can I get over there? We got more police in the alley here, just kind of like literally police everywhere. Like this is a lot of police who have, and I'm sure they've been pulled from elsewhere across the city, which is what happened last night, which was the first night of protests related to this incident. There was a citywide call for police to converge in this location. They needed reinforcements. So I can't get south in Georgia. See if I can go down this street. There's the helicopter again. Now they're pointing. See, they have the searchlight aimed southward. So I wonder if something's happening over there. We're gonna walk over there and find out, because I think this is kind of a calm down here. This is just kind of a residential street here. You guys bear with me for a few moments. We're going to see what's happening. Oh, excuse me, guys. We just started running down the street for some reason. It doesn't seem like much. All right. Yeah, see, they're pointing at something on the ground. So actually, the group of police who I just saw going down that street have now done a U-turn kind of and gone down this street. So I'm assuming they're kind of going after that smaller splintered group of protesters that we were filming earlier. These guys are running again. These cops and bikes. Again, if you're not from DC and you've been watching the news, you're probably used to a lot of protests, hearing about a lot of protests happening, near the White House, near the Capitol building, near the National Mall. This is really not near any of those places. There's really, this is kind of a local issue. There's really no regions of federal interest in this federal buildings in this part of the city. It's just residential, with some businesses. Traffic is resuming here. I have no idea where those guys went. That's kind of interesting because they were just literally on the street 2 minutes ago. Now the traffic is already running again. So, until there's a lot of people out on the sidewalks just kind of watching this unfold. They're just spectators, not part of the protest. But I'm gonna try to just walk back up to Georgia and see what's happening over there, because there's a lot of activity in the air. Clearly that helicopter has its spotlight, its searchlight on something. So let's see what we can find. So you guys will bear with me for a moment. Here's the gun. Yeah, the thing about live streaming is that while you're live, you really don't know what's happening elsewhere in your own city because you can't check Twitter, right? Where that is. Keep an eye on that helicopter. Now I have no idea what it's doing. See, now it's pointing the other direction. Well, we're going to keep walking this way anyway. Madison. Yeah, so that radio tower is back where the station is. The police station. All right, this I believe is Georgia. See some people. And a cop car behind me. So if you enjoyed this tour. Oh, no idea where that came from. It's totally possible there's no single place where things are happening right now. It's just everything is kind of dispersed across this part of the city. All right, this is here's the auto zone. Excuse me. All right, we're back in Georgia Avenue, and there's there's the Walgreens. I know somebody mentioned the Walgreens. Don't quite know what happened there, but I can tell you there's a lot of police officers over there. A lot of them. Whole parking lot is filled with them. All right, so I've made it to, and there's the helicopter right above me. This is, what street is this? This is Georgia. Georgia Avenue. Oh, there's police moving in from the... Oh, God. Oh. Well, that escalated quickly. Now, where I am, there's actually police coming from two directions as far as I can tell. This is coming south on Georgia here, and then they're heading down this street as well. And there's the wall.